What's good? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Penfed auto loans. So if you guys don't know about the Penfed auto loans, they're a great product that anybody can get because anybody can actually join Penfed Credit Union. So I'm going to be breaking down everything about the Penfed auto loans step by step, breaking it down with the rates, what you guys need to do to apply, what documentation you need, what bureau they pull, everything that has to do with the Penfed auto loan. I'm going to be breaking it down for you guys so you guys can get approved for it and go get a vehicle. So without further ado, I'm going to hop on the computer where we're going to go on the Penfed site and break down the auto loan. So let's go. All right. So the first thing that I wanted to show you guys is this page right here where it says everyone is eligible to apply. So anybody can join Penfed Credit Union. You can apply today and open a free savings account with them and even a checking account if you want to start building that relationship. But anyone nationwide is eligible to apply. So now let's go ahead and go to the auto loans, and we're just going to click on purchase. But you guys, if you see right here, we can also do purchases, refinances, and they even have a car buying service. So we're going to go through each one. And they have vehicle protection, gap coverage, and debt protection. So let's go ahead and just click on the purchase. So with the purchase, this is how you're going to be able to pre-qualify for it. So you click right here, you pre-qualify, and they have rates as low as 4.44% APR, which is really low, which is actually a pretty good rate for nowadays. I think the lowest I've seen nowadays is like 4.09, and I think Navy Federal has that. So they're very close to being the lowest with 4.44, so that's really good. And of course, they have up to 125% financing, meaning you can finance past the vehicle value. So here we can see they have loan amounts up to 150K. And most of the time, these loans are going to be with no documentation. Yep, you heard that right. No documentation and stated income. So whatever you guys put as your income, that's what they're going to take. And they're most likely not going to ask any questions unless you put an absurd amount. And same thing with the loan amount. I think maybe after like 100K, they might start asking for documentation. I'm not too sure about that, but I know from 0 to 100K, you guys are golden to ask for an auto loan and not get any red flags with Penfed Credit Union. So as you guys see, up to 150K, which is crazy. So that's pretty nice. Now let's look at the refinance. Here, same thing. You guys can see if you pre-qualify even to get the auto loan with no impact to your credit score. So that's really nice. Same thing with the refinance. You can do loan amounts up to 150K. And then let's actually look at the rates here for the refinance. And for the refinance, it's going to be a little bit more pricey as it usually always is with refinances. But for new autos, the lowest you can do is 5.24. And for used, the lowest you can do is 6.19. So that's honestly not too bad with refinances. It's pretty low for a credit union. So that's what I really like about Penfed. The biggest thing about Penfed is how you guys can get no doc and stated income auto loans pre-approved. Take that check to the dealership, and then you guys are good to go when you guys get there. So you guys can just pick out the vehicle that you want, negotiate with the dealer, and then leave that same day with the vehicle if you get a good price. So that's what I like about taking pre-approval auto loan checks to the dealership, and Penfed does that for you guys. So but now let's actually check out their car buying service, which is something that's pretty nice. They actually use TrueCar. I'm gonna show you guys right now. So here with the car buying service, you guys can enjoy the same 4.4% APR. So as you guys see right here, is powered by TrueCar. You basically just enter the car that you want. I'm going to go ahead and do it for, let's just say, a Cadillac. I'll put in a random zip code, and then I'll search for a car. Then here, it'll bring me to all the type of cars. Let's say I want to do a CT5V, which is a pretty nice Cadillac. So I'll just choose a default build. Standard is about 52K. Average offer made to others is about 49K. And yeah, this is basically what they're quoting the average offers made to others, so about 49K. And then from here you would just see offers on local inventory. I'm not going to show you guys that, but you guys get the detail, because if I click on that, it's going to ask me to create a profile, enter my email and all that, and I really don't want to do that. So that's basically the car buying service. It's going to go through TrueCar. If you just look up truecar.com, you can see the type of UI that is going to be when Penfed is helping you select a car. So they're basically going to use that UI and see just local cars near you. It'll only take you to dealers that actually accept that pre-approval check from Penfed, which is great. Penfed also offers vehicle protection for vehicles. So basically they have like protection plans. They have 3 different protection plans. You guys can look at each one. So I'm basically just gonna cover these real quick. So this one, you get coverage for 6 years or until the odometer reaches 100K, whichever comes first. And then for this one, you get 5 years or until 100K. And then for Main Street, you get until 36 months or 36,000 miles from the time of purchase. And if we scroll down, we kind of see some features that they have. So $0 deductible, nationwide coverage, emergency roadside service, 60-day money back guarantee, and then you can add a vehicle coverage during the loan application process. And then to add coverage to a vehicle financed with Penfed, contact a Penfed rep. So yeah, for example of some premium vehicles is these right here. Pretty much this is something that you guys can use for like car maintenance, like just in case something happens. In that sense, you guys don't have to pay any deductible for that on top of your insurance that could cover any accidents that you guys have. So that's pretty nice. Let's go ahead and check out the gap insurance. Here they have gap insurance for only $525, which is pretty good. When I went to the dealership, they charged me $1,000 for gap insurance, so this is half the price, which is really nice. And they'll just throw that into your loan. So they'll throw that into your loan and divide it by how many months your loan is. So if it's 60 months, they'll divide it by that. And then if you guys don't know what gap is, it's basically like it'll reimburse you for the amount that the insurance company doesn't want to cover you in case your vehicle's at a total loss. So let's say, for example, I have a 25K auto loan, right? And I got a new vehicle. As soon as I drive that new vehicle off the lot, that car is now worth 20K. Let's just say, for example, and I crash the car the next day and it's totaled. But now my insurance only wants to give me 20K for that vehicle since that's what it's technically worth now. Then the gap insurance would basically cover the remaining 5K and they would pay that to me. It's the gap between the vehicle value and the loan amount that you have. So that gap insurance will cover you and you wouldn't be left with that debt, which is really, really nice. And then they also have an ADR, which is auto deductible reimbursement. So with your insurance, if you have a high deductible, they will reimburse you up to $500 for any deductible that you have to pay. So let's say, for example, your deductible on your car is $1,000, they would reimburse you $500, and then you only have to pay $500 to your insurance, which is really nice. And this is a thing that I haven't seen a lot of other credit unions do, so this is very, very nice. And you can add gap with ADR, and they recommend adding gap with ADR, and it's something that I recommend too. If you're going to get a new car that's going to depreciate really quickly, you probably want to add gap, because most of the time, like they say right here, your vehicle depreciates 10% the moment you drive off the lot. So if you bought a $100,000 car and now it depreciated 10%, now your car is only worth 90K. So that's 10K that you'd be on the hook if you were to crash your car the very next day. So that's why you want to gap. And then it also says here that your new car declines an average of 15% to 25% every year. So that's another thing. If you're driving a lot and you're putting high mileage on the car, that's even more that the car is going to depreciate year by year. And then the third reason that they give, if your car is stolen, and vehicles are stolen every 40 seconds in the United States. So you never know when your vehicle could get stolen, especially if it's a nice premium luxury vehicle, higher chance of being stolen by people that want to steal cars. So that's what they recommend, adding the gap and the ADR. But now let's continue to the debt protection. Here they have debt protection plans in case of unplanned events such as death, disability, or involuntary employment. So they have basically 3 different plans. They have a premium, an advanced, and then a basic. So a basic would cover you if you were to die, right? But they wouldn't cover you if you had disability or on involuntary employment, like you got fired. Advanced would cover these 2, loss of life and disability, and the premium would cover all 3. So it would just, the cost is right here. So it's $2 per month per $1,000 of your loan balance. So if you do the quick math, let's say you have a $50,000 loan balance, we would times the 2.1 times 50, you would be paying an extra $100 per month for this premium debt protection plan, which is not too bad. Maybe if you know that your job is not too secure, then you can pay for this, and it'd be cheaper if it'd be better if your car was like a $30,000 car. Then you'd only be paying like $60 extra dollars a month for this. So that's not too bad. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up all of the things that the Navy Federal Auto Loan has to offer. If we see here, those are all 6 things. Now I'm going to go click back on purchase, because I want to explain to you guys how you guys can get this auto loan with no documentation and stated income. So if you stay to the end of the video, I appreciate you. And this is where we get into the sauce, the real sauce. So the real sauce with this is that they pull your Experian credit report when they're looking to pre-qualify you, and when they give you the hard pull, the hard inquiry to give you the pre-approval and the approval. So basically you want to make sure your Experian is good to go. So with that, you guys can get pre-approved for this. And then when you're applying for it, basically they're not going to ask you for any docs, any tax returns, anything like that. They're just going to pull your personal credit, and then they're going to use whatever income you guys put on the application. Of course, I always tell you guys, make that income reasonable for your age, for your location, and for what you actually make. So if you make 60K, don't go putting that you make 500K a year, especially if you live in like a very poor town or a very bad zip code. They look at those things and they base where you live, the average income in that area, on how much they think you could actually make. So if you live in a poor area and you're putting you make $1 million a year, they're gonna think that's fishy. They're gonna put a red flag on your account, and they're gonna manually review it, and then they'll probably ask you for some tax returns. You feel me? So we don't want to do that. You want to stay under the radar when it comes to these things. You guys can get approved for 50 to, I would say, 75K with pretty mid-tier income. Mid-tier income is something from like 70 to maybe 120, 150K. So keep that in mind. I'm not telling you guys what to put, but that is some of the data points that I've been seeing. So make sure your income kind of falls within that range if you can. And of course, if you're like a younger person and maybe you're in college, you can use projected income. That basically means that when you graduate college, that is the income that you're projecting you will have. So that is something that is allowed, and you can do that. Or if you think you're going to get a promotion in the next coming year or years, you guys can put that projected income as well. So that could help you guys out a bit. So that is the sauce that I wanted to drop for you guys. The pull Experian, and it's no documentation and stated income to get the Penfed auto loan. If you guys enjoyed, if you guys want any more sauce on any other auto loans, any other credit unions, any other banks, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave a like just so it helps out the algorithm. Leave a comment on what you want to see next, and I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Peace.